Hello, it's time. It's all right. Once again, we're about to kick off. We're about to start. So today we're going to be talking about how we would be able to break into cloud engineering. Yes. Okay. We'll talk about how we'll be able to break into cloud engineering, and to be specific, AWS. That's what we want to talk about. And we're going to make it very, very simple for everybody. And so we would know exactly what to do, how to start. Today, we will look at the various areas that we could be coming into cloud engineering, and I will look at the architecture of cloud engineering and break it down, the various segments of the VPC. I'll talk about the various segments of the VPC, okay, and break it down and explain everything that we should be familiar with as AWS cloud engineer. So there are lots of things there, but I'll simplify it for us to be familiar with it. And if we can have a full understanding of what the VPC is all about, we would be able to scale up. We would be able to work for any organizations and help them save time and money. They simplify and make clarifications, simplify it in a way that none of us would struggle to have an understanding of what, okay, we pick a good architecture to explain what it's all about. And that is what I want to show us. These architectures are things that, as cloud engineers, we must be familiar with. Once you have a knowledge of the VPC, the next thing is for you to be able to provision it, be able to create the subnet, and also assign the IPs, and then you set up the knuckles, the internet gateway, and so forth. You use the knuckles to protect the subnet as your security, and also use the cloud, the security group to protect the EC2s. So today we're going to simplify all this for us to be conversant with how it works. This would make things simple for us as cloud engineers. Yeah, very important. When you have this knowledge, you are good to go. This is very easy. Once again, my name is Tim X Pekene, your number one solutions architect. your number one cloud engineer, your number one trainer, and it's time for us to break into cloud. Certain times I am being asked by intended cloud students of how the cloud is. If it is something that is he would be easy for them to come in because some of them would like to break into tech. Some would ask me, do I need a programming skill before I can know how to appropriate things in the cloud? Yeah, that's still good, but you mustn't have a programming skill to break into cloud as long as you have a professional instructor taking you through. Once you have an instructor who can explain everything about the cloud to you, you would understand it and that would be easier. So today, that is what we want to do. We want to be able to soften the entrance for everybody. That which would make the cloud difficult, we want to take it off. We want to take it off for everybody to understand. So that is it. So relax. If peradventure you are being troubled about how it would work, the time is now, and I'm going to simplify it for every one of us. I'll take you through just become follow up if you have to take notes. Take notes as we move on. Let's see how many we have already in the class that has joined us. Let's see who is here. It's time to break into cloud. It's time to have a highly paying skill. It's time to work remotely. Yeah, it's time to do things as professionals. That is very important. I want to see those that are here to subscribe. If you're here, just subscribe and let's kick off. Let's move on so you can have everything about today's class. It's easy without wasting our time. Let me, okay, let's run it this way. Let's run it this way. Okay. All right. Okay, who is there? You can let me know if you can see my screen. You can let me know if you can see my screen. All right. Okay. Okay, so we have to understand cloud computing today and talk about it from the perspective that everyone can understand it. So before we start, I would like to introduce myself to you. My name is Timex Pekene. I'm an engineer. At the same time, I'm a procurement specialist. I am your project management strategist, and I am your solutions architect and your instructor for the AWS class. Today, I'm going to be taking you with my wings, and as we're going to fly into cloud engineering industry, I'll show you around, and then I'll look for the best spot for you to break into it. That's what I want to do. I've identified some soft spots that we would use in breaking into cloud and make things simple for ourselves and for others. So you relax, give me your time, trust me, as I'll be able to make things easy for you. All right, let's go. For adventure, you've been asking, what is the cloud? The cloud, some persons would say the cloud, is it what is above our head? Is it what we see as like a light blue hole? What do you mean by the cloud? The cloud now is that, right? And you can, if you have been on the internet for some time now, you would know that cloud is a word that we come across every day, because that is the level where the recent IT is. Okay, this is in another level. The cloud is IT where which platform owners, IT where which infrastructure owners would not struggle to keep, to preserve, to appropriate the things that they would want to spend money on. It's different. Right now, few organizations have come up to say, okay, we want to take care of your burdens. We want to be able to save your data somewhere that is remote from where you are. And in that place is most secured, because we will be able to keep them there. And if anything happens, you will be able to retrieve data in a split seconds without struggles. So these organizations are like the AWS, that's the Amazon Web Services. These organizations are like the Google Cloud and the Microsoft Azure. So these are things different, better than the way we've been doing it. So they have come up with ideas to disrupt the traditional information technology industry, and that is what is prevalent. And if peradventure you really want to earn big, you want to scale up your infrastructure, you want to scale up the way you do business, and you do not have knowledge about the cloud, you are behind, which means your competitors are going to put you out of business. So this knowledge that I'm bringing in right now is the knowledge that buyers around the world want to grab. That's what they want to pay for. Okay, so the cloud computing knowledge, the cloud engineering knowledge is IT at this time, IT of today. All right, so I'm going to be breaking it down, simplifying it for every one of us to be familiar with it. Now, for every day, we protect our data all by ourselves. We protect our infrastructure all by ourselves. Okay, but now over this cloud, and in that place we will pay less, in that place we will struggle less. So that is the reason why buyers, that is the reason why infrastructure owners are moving, migrating into this area that is called the cloud computing, because their burdens have been lifted away from them. This could be their financial, because in this area you cannot invest without you cannot just put money down for things that you may or may not use. All right, because they come up with an idea that we call pay as you go, where which you can only pay for the capacity of the infrastructure that you you would pull for companies around the world, and it eliminates the need for us, to keep our data on premise. Our data may not only be where we are, that the data will touchable, seeable. So if anything happens to where this data are saved, like in our organization, you could be familiar with the these organizations have been able to come up with what is called a hybrid. This hybrid enable us to still save our data on premise where we are, to be touchable, seeable way, and also to have those data replicated and saved in a remote environment that these organizations will take care of for us. All right? So that is about that. And in this area, things are very simple. In a split second, servers can be spinned up. And I want to teach you how servers can be spinned up in these areas. At the same time, as the demand on our sites upon our organizations are increasing, these demands are reducing. At the same time, they cannot short of servers, all right? They short of the servers, and we will not have to pay for servers that we've not used. Is that not beautiful? So lots of organizations, the world is moving towards this direction. I don't want anybody to be behind. That's why we have this class today. And we, you and I, would be at the vanguard of all this, which we would be leading organizations. We will be helping them to move to the cloud with our knowledge. With the knowledge that I'm going to be sharing with you today, you would help organizations to move into the cloud and make things easier for them. When people would experience things that used to be difficult, and all of a sudden they start experiencing it in a simple way, they would want to put their money upon it. And that is why I would say the cloud engineering platforms, the cloud engineering industry is quite innovative, is highly paying. So that is about that. That is about that. So what do we have? We have what is public, we have what is cloud, we have what is called the cloud. Like I explained, the hybrid cloud is the combination of the public and and the private. The private could be like the cloud things all to ourselves alone, and people around the world may not have access into them. Is that not beautiful? That is about the private. The public could be in the open internet, it could be in the open source, everybody can access. So juggle between the public, the hybrid, and also the private. That is cloud computing. This is one of the beautiful things that cloud computing has brought to you and I. And we're going to take advantage of it. Like as I speak right now, organizations around the world are looking for cloud professionals. They're looking for people knowledges in this area, people that can help them to migrate their data from the on-premise rather to the cloud. That is what they want to pay for right now. They are looking for organizations or individuals that have the skill to protect, that is to secure their data in the cloud. They are looking for organizations that can cover the portion in the cloud for them, and that is what we call the VPC, the virtual private cloud. And you're going to be having these skills. And so I want to talk to us about ways that we're going to be breaking in. I've been able to put together, identify rather some strategies, some soft areas that we could break in, and within few months, few days, few weeks, we are there helping them to migrate to the cloud and earning big and working remotely. Like I said, we have few organizations that have these technologies. Number one is the Amazon Web Service owned by Amazon. Number two is the Microsoft Azure, and we have the Google Cloud Platform. Salesforce is also one of them, which is prevalent in some part of the world, but yet it still controls, a little aspect of it as compared with the Amazon Web Service, which is the leader in the industry. We have the Dropbox also. But in this area, I really like to go on with the most popular aspect of it, and that is why I want us to look at the AWS. That's the Amazon Web Service. I want to teach you AWS. I want you to have an understanding of AWS. I want you to help organizations around the world with the skills that you're going to be getting from these sessions. I want you to be able to migrate them. I want you to be able to secure their data. I want you to be able to secure their infrastructures, secure their businesses, and keep them in a place where there will not be intruders. And that is what we're going to be doing. When we start talking about the VPCs, you will now understand the security starting from what we call the IAM, the identity and access management. Moving it away from there, you'll be able to create users and secure what they do, monitor and watch whatever thing they do on the platform. All right? You're going to be experienced. You're going to be knowing so much at the end of this training. Yeah. There's so much benefit you and the organizations around the world would get if they dare migrate to the cloud. Yeah. Lots of benefit. Lots of benefit. Lots of benefits. So before we talk about that, once again, I would like to reintroduce myself to you. My name is Timex Pekene. I am your number one solutions architect, your number one project management strategist. I am your number one procurement and supply strategist. Yeah, and I am your go-to personal trainer. I am a writer and an author of several books. I've written books in project management. I've written books in negotiation. I've written self-help books. All right? And I've helped lots of people around the world to do better in their businesses. I've helped them improve on their performances and to cut down on their cost. I take a look at your operating cost and make analysis and come up with strategy where which you can take off some prevalent costs and increase your bottom line. So now let's move on. Talking about the benefit of cloud computing, it reduces the IT cost. You know why? Because you're not going to be owning any infrastructure. You're not going to be owning any server, which means the capex, the capital expenditure can be cannibalized, can be cut out of it. That is one thing. And even the OPEX, the operating cost too, can be reduced. Can't you see how innovative it is? Organizations are looking for things that can cut down their cost. And that makes you and I, the cloud engineers, highly prized around the world. That makes us the most sought after skilled owners. All right? And increase the flexibility and the scalability. What am I talking about? Flexibility is the ability for us to be able to juggle from a low scale or a low capacity infrastructure to a high capacity infrastructure. And the scalability is for our system to be able to expand. Adventure, we just have a higher demand. And also to be able to reduce when we have a low demand. That is beautiful. And another one, in the cloud, you would have improved security. Improved security is one of the benefits in the cloud, and the cloud is reliable because it is a secluded environment. All right. We also have lots of other benefits like real-time collaboration and access to data, and that's what we call the disaster recovery and backup solutions. This is one selling point of the cloud. We have what is called the region in the cloud, and the region is cascaded into parts and pieces that is called the availability zones. And these availability zones are also broken down to edge locations. You see? So you can have your data stored in a different availability zone and program it in a way that all the data that goes into the availability zone in a specific region goes to another area in a different availability zone. That availability zone may be in the US. or another one in Canada, another one in Nigeria, in Africa, like Lagos. So if peradventure there is a problem in the United States of America, you still have your data protected in Canada. Is that not beautiful? The traditional way of saving and backing up data cannot achieve that. But with the cloud, you can do that. And to get all this done is very simple. We call it auto scaling. And I'm going to show you that in course of our training. Yeah. So what we're going to do, the area I want us to specialize in is the AWS area, which is the Amazon Web Services. We'll take a look at the Amazon Web Services platform. It has lots of features, but I've carefully looked at it. As your solutions architect, I've carefully looked at some areas, some services that if you are most conversant with, you could easily break into the cloud. There's something we say that no AWS engineer has a complete knowledge of all the services. All you need to do is to look for an area in majoring. So I've put together about 4 or 5 areas that I want us to major in. So at the end of our trainings, we would be good in those areas and we'll not start, pricing ourselves, and product owners, buyers around the world will be looking for us. Is that not beautiful? Yeah. You're going to be helping business reduce with AWS will get that done. With the cloud engineer hand, how much are they paid around the world? Okay, yeah. Anybody can be paid any amount for any job. It depends on your bargaining power. But in the United States, the least that you can earn is about 90,000 US dollars per annum. In Canada, it's about 80,000 US dollars per annum. That is the minimum. I have colleagues, I have friends that are earning up to $220,000. As for last year, 2023, February, a friend of mine that stays in Oklahoma, just after a month and in his training, and though he's a serious guy who studied morning, noon, and night, and that was what he was doing, got a job as a cloud security engineer, and he was paid $220 something thousand. That was his salary. Recently, another friend in Houston, Texas, got a job. That was his first cloud job, and it was 146,000 USD per annum. So in the United Kingdom, they have about 60,000 GBP as the least. Europe, we have also 60,000 euros. In Africa, specifically, a place like Nigeria, for my very first job, I was priced 3,000 USD, which I was saying that was too small, and so that is about that. That's how lucrative the industry is. Though I'm going to make this clear, you have more of the jobs in some areas more than in other areas. Cloud engineering jobs in Africa is at the minimum. The growth is sluggish, but yet it's picking up. But for those of us that are in the United States, you would agree with me that all you hear about is cloud job, cloud job, cloud job. Those in Canada, also United Kingdom and Europe. And that's why I have my students more around in the United States. I have lots of them. They have more than 180 students in United States. Yeah. For those of you in Africa that are looking for ways to move into Europe, UK, United Kingdom and America, I would say you better don't get in there without having a tech skill. Don't do that. I have a friend who was a civil engineer several years ago. That's about 4 or 5 years ago. He wanted to move into Canada. I said, I wouldn't want you to struggle. Can you just wait a little for 2 to 3 months? Let me teach you something that can help you to succeed herein. He said he's going to make money. He's busy. He's a graduate and he studied engineering. I said, I'm an engineer too. And a well-experienced engineer for that matter. Just hold on. I know what is happening here because I have students around the world. I have some students that are suffering. I have some students that are doing well. I have some students that are struggling. I have some students around the world who are breaking into places that their certificates, their education, couldn't have taken them there. So I said, hold on. Let me teach you something. And then you write these professional exams before you go. He said he has made up his mind and he has to travel. He traveled. That is fast forward to today. He's not been able to raise $10,000 to pay for these skills. Skills that he could have gotten in Africa for less than 200, 300, 400, 500,000 naira or $500. At that time, I was even willing to teach him for free because certain times I do charity with my skill, just like the way that we are doing right now. Let this serve as a changing point for you. Let it serve as a motivating point for you. Let cloud engineering becomes one of your New Year resolution. Breaking into tech should be what we should be gunning for. I am conversant in lots of areas. I was first a project management professional, a traditional project management professional, and I was doing well. I'd worked in lots of areas. I worked as the topmost project management consultant in the River State University. I did that. But I discovered that people were coming into the industry with the Scrum Master skill. That is the IT aspect of project management. I said, wow. And then I see my colleague and I, we were priding ourselves as professionals, taking the back seat. So I said, no, I have to gear up. I geared up, became a Scrum Master, and the industry changed. And now this is where I am, managing cloud projects for organizations. Can you see that? That is my niche, managing cloud project. And that is why I'm your solutions architect. Bank on my word, stay on my word. Do what I want you to do, and you would succeed. It doesn't matter where you are. The skills that you're going to be grabbing from here will take you to the rest of the world and bring the world to you. All right? So that is about that. You're going to be planning how to earn big, how to run your own organization. As we speak, I have my own organization, which is picnicproject.com. You can check us there. We do trainings around the world. That's our specialty. We train cloud, we train project management, we train procurement and supply, and we do business advisory. All right? So that is that. So where are those areas that I want you to come in? I've put together about 5 areas that you should be looking into. After the training, you'll be conversant with these 5 areas, and you'll be able to, tweak in your CVs and write your applications to function very well here and big. And that might not be there when you start earning big, except you come back to say thank you. The number one is the cloud support engineer. Cloud support engineer roles are everywhere. And they have a kind of responsibilities. What do? They provide technical assistance and support to AWS customers around the world. If peradventure customers are looking for ways to provision certain services, this cloud support engineers help them, to troubleshoot the system. If something had gone wrong, help them to fix them and advise them on what to do. They respond to issues. That is, they ensure there is smooth operations of cloud services. All right? And you mustn't know all the AWS services to get this done. All you need to do is to know how the platform works and where to get the. We have the cloud role. I'm a cloud security engineer. And now what is it? This specializes on securing the cloud environment. You're going to be implementing, some security strategies. You look at the policies and you conduct some risk assessment and ensuring compliances with industry standards and regulations. And there are 2 services that can help you get that done on the AWS platform. And I will show you that. That is the CloudWatch and the CloudTrail. You have to learn how to use those. All right? Okay, number 3 is the AWS System Administrator. This manages and maintains AWS infrastructure. You will use it, and it enables you to handle some tasks by provisioning their resources and doing some configuration around their networks. And you'll be able to optimize performances for organizations. And there's a data aspect of it, which is a cloud data engineer. In the cloud platforms, things are simplified, very much simplified. We don't struggle in those platforms. Things are simplified. There are lots of services that you can learn in the open source, but these services are contrasted on the cloud. We use few services to organize lots of data services in the open source, like the relational database services that is called the RDS. We have the Aurora. All right? We have the DynamoDB. This is on the storage aspect. On the analytics aspect, we have lots of them. But you must be conversant with them, and that you succeed without knowing them. And you mustn't struggle too much. There's a popular saying that is peculiar with my people, which goes, follow no road. Yeah, I followed people that were ahead of me, and they went ahead, and then they open up the route, and things became simple for me, and I want to simplify it for you. Number 5 is the AWS network engineer. You're going to be implementing network solutions on the AWS platforms, ensuring optimal connectivity, ensuring security. And one way to get this done is being able to configure the VPCs, the virtual private cloud. You will know about the NAT gateway. You know about the subnet. You know about the NACLs. I will teach you about the NACLs. I will teach you about the security groups and how to use the security group to protect the EC2s, that to protect the servers as the cloud security engineer. I'll teach you how to allow traffic and disallow traffic. In the same way, you'll be able to create subnets and place the subnet in different availability zones. Yeah. Yeah. So much simplified. Okay. Cloud has a rapid growth. Companies are adopting cloud around the world. Small and medium-sized businesses are also benefiting from cloud computing. Yes. So having said this, I want to show us some few infrastructures and how the cloud works. Let's look for them. Let's look for them. Okay. Let's stop sharing and then I'm going to get them out. So we'll take a look at them. We'll take a look at them. We'll take a look at them and then we'll see how we would be able to explain how the networks would work. All right. Before we move on with that, um, for those that are watching online, and if peradventure you have a question, let me take questions from one or two persons. All right. All right. Peradventure you are still trying to drop your questions. Okay. Just you can type your question and then make it easier, and I will see it. I will see it. Somebody saying nice to be here. Okay. You may type your question and drop it. So we take a look at it. We take a look at it and analyze it. Talk about it. Just type it down and I will see it. All right, drop your questions. Let's get it done. Okay. All right. We're gonna talk about the VPC. So we use the VPC to explain how the cloud looks like. We use it to explain how the cloud looks like. So you now see how it looks like and have some kind of knowledge that can enable you to scale, to do better in there. And all right, okay, let's share the screen once more. Let's share the screen once more. Where is it? I'm going to share the screen once more. Okay, now this is a simple architecture of the cloud and how the cloud looks like. All right, don't worry as you look at it right now. If you are not careful, you'll be thinking it's very difficult. All right, it's very difficult. It may or may not be difficult to you, but I'm here to explain how it works. And this is about the networking. What lots of people in the industry would do, like what I want to explain to you in this diagram, could be a job for 5 persons. Yeah. Now take a look at this diagram. You see the external network that is to show you the WW wide world. That is it. That is it. This is the external world that you're conversant with, that every infrastructure is feeding from. That's the general networks around the world. But the VPC, the virtual private cloud, is your own private corner. That's your plot of land in the cloud. Yeah. That is what we call the virtual private cloud. So this is your area because you need a place where you can do things and nobody would be able to break into it. Now you have it being built. This is being built in the cloud for you. All your data, all your servers will be cascaded in here. You may have your web tier. You can see your web tier environment. You have your database, and that is that. Now, this your VPC is in the AWS cloud. That is why we have the AWS here. You can see it. AWS is what is housing it. Now, having done that your own portion of land is being given to you. Wow. So you have this portion of land and you are ready to make things happen. But how are you going to be getting with internet into that environment? There is what is called the internet gateway. This is the internet gateway. This internet gateway will be configured by you. This is how your VPC will receive internet from the outside world into it. Now we have it in, the internet is in. But what if you want your networks to go to certain direction that you would want them to go to? You need to do some networking. You need to move internet to certain services in certain areas, and you want to get that done. You have to introduce what is called the route table. Can you see it? The route table helps you to move internet to wherever you want them to go to. And you can see the route table receives the internet from the whole world. from the internet gateway now. And now you have internet already in your VPC. And if you take a look at this symbol here, it's written at the side of it, elastic load balancer. This elastic load balancer is very important. It helps you to balance the load as the demands are coming in from your users around the world. And now we have two availability zone. That is to say, we have availability zone 1, we can see it here, and availability zone 2. This could be in two different regions entirely. But peradventure, all what you want to do are being placed in a particular availability zone. And you thought of it, what if the traffic goes up and I want lots of other things to be in a different availability zone? So let me replicate the same thing that I'm doing here, let it be happening in a different availability zone. And you go up to provision a different availability zone, which is called the availability zone 2, according to my diagram here. So the load balancer does what? He knows when to send in traffic to this your instance. These instances are your servers. Can you see them? They are your servers. They are your servers. The servers are in two different availability zones. But when you take a look at each availability zones, you will see that we have different subnets, just like you are portioning your lands. You're breaking up your property lands into pockets and portions. You're fencing up the rooms. That is what it is. You have subnet 1. It is very private. It's written here. You have subnet 2, private. Can you see that? Because you have broken your availability zone into portions. And you also have subnet 3, subnet 4, subnet 5, and subnet 6. I'll teach you how to get that done. It's very simple. So but now this is all about it as you're watching it. It is this architecture that you're going to replicate for your environment. I was talking to a friend a few days ago. He said, I love this my organization that I am. He's in the United States. I said, why? He said, do you know what I do for my organization? I said, what? He said, I only set up subnets. Hey, I said, seriously? Just subnet? That's what you set up your organization? He said, yes, I set up subnet. I said, what about the EC2s? Who spins up the EC2s? He said, it's not me, that's another man's job. He said, that's another man's job. So for everybody in the organization, what I do is to set up subnet. Now take a look at this. In all this diagram which we were talking about, somebody does this, he set up subnets, and another man does the servers. He set up the servers. And you can spin up thousands of servers in less than a minute. That's somebody's job. I said, who takes care of the knuckles? The knuckles is how we secure the subnet. It's our security strategies for the subnet. I said, who does that? He said, that's another man's job. I said, no. I'm going to bring my trainees up to speed, I'm going to teach them about how to spin up servers. I'm going to teach them about the web tier. I'm going to teach them about the subnet, and I'll tell them how to set up the security groups, and I'll tell them how to set up the knuckles, and I'll be able to show them how to, set up the route tables and every other thing, set up the internet gateway, and have their VPCs running. I'll teach them lots of one of them will be able to do all these jobs that all of you are doing there. And that starts from the explanation of this architecture. Yes. It starts from there. If you have the understanding of this architecture, you're already in. You know about the route table, like I tell you, it sends the network to the subnet, sending in to different portion in your PC. And there's something that is not showing here, which is called the auto scaling. And I'll teach you that. Okay, so this is about this for today. So we're going to kick off with our class, and where which I'm going to be teaching you the cloud as regards AWS. So for those that are interested, and you want to be in the class, if you want to have a one-on-one, I'm going to show you that. If you want to be in the general class, I'm going to show you that too. So we are kicking off with the class starting from a few days from now. So get yourself ready. Get yourself ready. The first thing we'll do, we'll set up our AWS accounts. We'll set up our AWS accounts, and then we'll go and do hands-on. And not too long, you go in to set up your LinkedIn account, and you start applying. Some recruiters would come, talk to you, and book an interview with you, and you get in and blast it. And for those of you that would want to go in for the certification exams, we have sample questions that can help you get that done. All right? I'm here to take off your struggles. Once again, my name is Timex Pekini, your number one solutions architect, your number one cloud engineer, and your security engineer. I'm here to help you scale. I'm here to help you work remotely. I want you to earn big. I want you to break into nations with your IT skills, with your AWS skills. You have the key to all the nations on earth. Okay? Do not do anything small. Get yourself ready for big things. We're going to be talking big languages, be using verbiages that are powerful enough to bring worlds down. All right? Thank you very much. And, and let me get feedbacks from you in the comment section. Let me know if you want to join the class. Let me know if you have learned something today. Let me know if I've added value to you today. Let me know if you're willing to bring down walls. Let me know if you're willing to make global friends. Let me know if you're willing to make money in dollars and make more money. Let me know if you're tired of the struggling. Let me know if you want to be a high flyer. I am your go-to personal coach. I am your go-to personal trainer. My job is to bring solutions to people like you. Let's get ready and let's scale up. All right? Thank you, and do have a nice day. All right, catch you in our next class. The announcement will be made, but let me get your interest. Okay. All right. And then for those, that would want to private chat me, you can do that in YouTube. Number would be there. You can send me a WhatsApp message, and you can call me on the phone. What should I do now to make you get my WhatsApp number? Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. All right. Just ask the question in the comment section. I will update my number in the description, my WhatsApp number, my email address, and my website, so you can get through to me through those contacts. Thank you. I want to get all your feedbacks. How this training has added value to you. All right. Thank you very much. Value has been added onto you.